our comics cover. For the week of September 19th, 2018, here I am. I am your host, along with my symbiote.
You had to say it like that, didn't you?
Symbiote. This is episode 43. Here on Comics Covered, we talk about comic books and the world around them. Any direction, north, south, east, west.
Ooh. But just the cardinal directions. Not dorsal
just the
or
cardinal
ventral.
Directions. No, this is like if you have like a D-pad and only like you've got like WASD control, but you don't got any of the diagonals. Can't mix them.
That makes sense.
We talk about the comics industry, comic book movies, TV, games. We will also talk spoilers. We'll warn you about spoilers. Mm-hmm. I'm Doug. I'm our resident comics person. I don't know. Like the more we do this show, the less I feel like I can claim to be like yes, I'm still like the more experienced comics person.
Yeah.
Like that'll never. I guess unless they like take a break for a few years,
yeah,
and let you. But I mean, also at the pace you're reading, like you're catching up considerably. So I don't know.
Who knows? But Doug, this is also for the week of September 19, 2018. You forgot to say that.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I 100% did. You can listen to the episode later and know how wrong you are.
Okay. We'll put the tape back. In any case. My name is Jack, and I am. No, I just started. I didn't just start. I started last November, I guess. That's not just started.
In the grand scheme of things, that's pretty recent.
Most people who read a lot of comics probably have read them since they were like 13, 12, right?
I mean, like less than a year is not a long time doing a hobby.
Yeah.
Or if you said that I just started watching movies last year, I'd be like, holy shit, how have you not been watching movies?
That's true.
Obviously, comics a bit more niche than that, but
but also comics probably have much more there are more comics than movies. Or well, no, that's not true. I don't know. That's tough.
It might be true.
If we're talking about issues of comics, probably definitely.
Yes.
But if we're talking about runs, that gets a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's probably. I don't know. I don't know about that.
No. In any case, yeah, that's me. And Doug knows something I don't know, so I got to figure it out. It's gonna be great. Also, I just want everybody to know that Doug didn't let me put on a healthy amount of comedy at the beginning of the podcast because apparently farts come through the microphone.
Yeah, pressed record, and I just heard a sequence of two small farts. And
honestly, they weren't even loud on that on my end. I have no idea how they came through. That was really intense.
They were not loud, but they were clearly, definably farts.
What if I was moving my chair? You don't know.
Nope, I know you.
Okay. I'm going to click on this character soon. Yeah, is that cool?
Yes. So I have provided Jack with an image of a character. Now, I want to preface this.
Okay, preface.
This is part of the challenge this week for you.
Oh, shit.
This is a character you have encountered before.
Oh, shit, okay.
However, it not exactly in quite this form, okay? Or in this kind of usage.
So it's Frieza, not even in my final form? Sorry, you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, did you?
No, and I won't.
Wow, okay. Okay, so, should I click? Is that cool?
Yes.
I'm going to click, like Adam Sandler. Okay. Huh.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what do you see in here, Jack?
Okay, I see a man in a green suit and a yellow bow tie, pointing, and I think this pink electricity kind of drawn guy, ghost guy, is coming out of him, which would lead me to believe that they are he's an energy that's I guess it's not it. It reminds me of Negative Man.
Sure. I could definitely see that from this image.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is a character I've encountered before.
It is.
like, I've read in a story significantly, or, like, just shown up?
He hasn't been, like, the main character in the story you've read.
But he showed up and he was a little significant role?
He has shown up multiple times in at least a book you've read. Like, for, like, whole scenes.
Significant role?
Yes, I want to say.
Okay, I feel like the book you're talking about is 52. Am I right?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Okay, so this is DC.
It is DC. You tricked me.
Ah!
But also, you guessed a book that I'm not sure he's in. He
probably
very well
is,
could.
right?
He very well could be. There's a lot of characters.
He probably is.
Well,
I'm glad this narrows it down, though.
I will tell you, he's probably not in 52. His successor probably is in 52, if either of them is. But
okay, so
yeah.
this is probably an older character.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask questions?
No, I won't allow it. Yes, you can ask questions.
Does this character, like... wait, I had a great question to ask. Does this character have any stories that are specifically about, like, their dastardly deeds or their goodness, or, like, are they a main character in any run of stories?
I don't think that he has headlined a book.
Okay.
I will do some research on that while we're talking about it, but as far as I know, he's only ever been a supporting character.
Okay. Is this
I mean,
electricity?
like, there have definitely been stories that have centered around him within books.
Yeah.
But I don't think that as far as I know, there has been a book that is, like, titled the name of this character.
Okay. Is this recent book that I've read that this guy was in?
Yes.
Is it Dead Man?
This? No. It was not from this week.
Okay, I was just wondering. I was just, getting on there. Because I know he goes, like, between people and exits them. I don't know if this is a weird thing. Okay.
Would you like me to give you a clue as to which book it is?
I don't know. I feel like you're going to make it too easy for me.
Okay.
Do you think this is a book that Okay, so you think this is a book that I read kind of recently, at least?
It is a book that I know you have read semi-recently.
I'm going to guess the book. I'm going to try and guess the book.
Okay.
Final Crisis?
No.
I
I will tell you, it is an ongoing book. Currently.
Oh. Shit. Okay. DC. Ongoing book. He's not a new god, is he?
No.
I don't know. Give me your clue.
Okay. For the book?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is a book that is going to have an issue next week.
Let's look at my pull list. Okay, it's not Doomsday Clock. I know it's not that. It's not Heroes in Crisis because we haven't read it yet, because that doesn't count. God damn.
Okay, you're going down a rabbit hole here. That's
Justice League Dark? He's in that?
No, it is Doomsday Clock.
What? What character? Wait, don't tell me. Okay. What DC characters have even... We've had the Joker, we've had Batman, we've had...
And I have told you about this character when talking about this book before. But I figured you didn't really absorb the information. Because he is a character who, like... They don't really deal with this side of him in the book.
Okay.
Not directly.
God, I don't know.
Okay, so he is the old man in the retirement home who they keep going to, and they haven't really, and he, like, in the last issue we read, I believe, he, like, escaped.
Oh.
And then
they put, wait, not retirement home, right?
Yeah, he was in an old folks home.
Okay. He escaped.
He's in the current time. He's in the DC Universe current timeline.
Okay, I remember this.
He escaped to try to find. He found Green Lantern's lantern at the end of it.
Yes.
He like almost gets beat up in a Hollis Mason-esque scene.
Yeah. By the way, I'm rereading Watchmen right now, and I'm on issue 9, and Hollis Mason just kicked it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's so
Oh, my God. Spoilers for Watchmen.
Oh, God. Was that 30 years ago now? Wow. It's so good, though. It's so different because I read it before I started reading comics, really. And now, like, I feel like I have such an appreciation for everything going on, and it's so nuts. Like,
yeah, you have, like your understanding of, like, how that, the structure of that book is different from and, like, expanding on normal comic.
Yes, especially for at the
techniques. Time. And also, like, how people have, like, definitely taken things from that book.
Yes.
Structurally and artistically and all that.
Okay. Yeah, the Old Man, I got confused with the Old Man Retirement Home because I was thinking about Mothman in the new Rorschach's flashbacks, you know?
But yeah, he is in the DC universe in that book.
What's his name?
This is Johnny Thunder.
Okay.
And the character with him in this image is his Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt.
What? Wait, so the guy in the green bow tie suit is Johnny Thunder, and the Thunderbolt is the
Thunderbolt is the pink lightning genie guy.
Okay, so we've just seen Johnny Thunder.
We've only seen Johnny Thunder.
So we haven't seen this character yet, the Thunderbolt.
We haven't seen the Thunderbolt, but they are kind of intrinsically kind of a thing.
They look like two different consciousnesses, right?
Yes, but basically this character, the Thunderbolt, is his power.
Okay.
More or less. So they're kind of, like, you would never really talk about them separately if you were talking about him as, like, a superhero character.
Okay, the Thunderbolt's kind of like a symbiote.
I mean, he's basically a genie. So, the Thunderbolt, I couldn't find a good image that illustrated this without actually, like, looking through my JSA books, because he's a character heavily featured in that series.
Okay, a good guy?
He is a good guy, yes.
Okay.
But the Thunderbolt lives in a pen. And he clicks the pen, and he says, "Say you," which is spelled CEI-U.
What?
And then the Thunderbolt comes out.
Is this like trying to play off of Shazam? Like this magic word kind of thing with the normal person?
I don't know how it's inspired, but, like, I mean, I don't know. Saying the magic word and having a magic
out of a pen
genie thing. Yeah, out of a pen.
What is that? Why?
More portable than a lamp, Jack.
Well, yes, it doesn't have to be a lamp, but, like, just
you know, like, you want to keep your genie in something kind of portable, you know.
Does the pen work?
I'm not sure if I've ever seen him use the pen as a pen.
He's got to use the pen as a pen. If you can't call it a pen unless you can use it as a pen, right? Otherwise, it's just a piece.
Ink in it. I think it might just be the genie.
I mean, he should be able to do ink then. He should be able to do magical ink. Wouldn't that be awesome if, like, someone wrote with the pen and it was him and that was a way to get into, like, a location, like a secret location? Wouldn't that be cool?
Sure. So basically, yeah, he says the magic word and clicks the pen, and he has control of the genie for 1 hour, I believe, was the original thing. I think they got away from the time limit. But
yeah.
But it's just he basically just has a genie, and he grants wishes.
Does the genie, like, all powerful?
Kinda, but he's also, like, not reliable.
Okay.
Like, he's kind of like a trickster a little bit, but also not necessarily purposefully. He's just kind of like a doofus.
The genie.
Yes. He's, like, very smart, but, like, doesn't always do exactly what you want, and he's not malevolent. He's just kind of like a goofball.
Huh. Like, wouldn't this be funny? Or something like that.
Or he just, like, misunderstands, or he just, like, I don't know. He never quite does exactly what you want.
Oh, is that kind of a thing, like, one of the, like, be careful what you wish for, sort of, it can go in so many different ways than you think?
There are definitely be careful what you wish for stories with him.
Okay. Interesting. That's a really...
Where he makes, like, a really big wish, and then it's like, oh shit, I shouldn't, like, misuse my power or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. So, I guess he like is able to does he lift things? Is he a strong thing or like
the Thunderbolt?
Yeah.
He's not. He kind of shapeshifts a little bit at times, but like he probably could. But generally, he just like makes things like happen magically.
Okay,
you know?
So he's more of like a specter, kind of like goes through walls and shit like that, than like lifts things.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. JSA. So this character is always written in the like sort of style of the 40s, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, like the version that we're seeing in.
Well, yeah. Okay.
That we're seeing in Doomsday Clock. Well, no, because I'm going to say is like more or less. I mean, he's not like kind of senile like he is in that book a bit, but he is more or less the like age and kind of interpretation of that character in that like he is an elderly member of like the old guard of DC heroes.
So
and
wait,
in that JSA book that I'm talking about, the Jeff Johns one, and there is a younger character who has taken on the mantle.
Okay, so wait, what does it mean that he got the Green Lantern thing? And just spoilers for Doomsday Clock, just for everybody, I guess. What does it mean that he got that? Because I was expecting, for some reason, I had in my head that was like an original Green Lantern guy. You know what I mean? The JSA Green Lantern.
I think it is. Oh, you mean that character? I think he was looking for the I don't remember. It's been a while since.
I know. That's really why I'm reading Watchmen again.
I feel like I need to reread the.
You should. It's good anyways.
Skim them. Yeah, they're great, but they're so far apart now. It's hard for me to keep track of what the plot is. But
yeah,
I think he was just looking for the JSA, and that was the I think that was the lantern of the original Green Lantern.
Yeah, because it was a different insignia or something. It was okay.
I think that's the case, but so I think he was just looking for his friend.
Okay.
That wasn't his. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's an interesting character. I would love to. I got to read some of that JSA stuff because I love Jeff Johns, and that sounds like interesting. I love that idea.
It's a fun if you want a book that's just full of lots of characters that you will learn all about these characters. You will go in knowing very little, and you will become endeared to this very different cast of characters that you see basically nowhere else in the DCU. They show up in other stuff.
Yeah,
the JSA shows up in 52, like we just talked about. They have a presence, but they're not heavily featured as core characters.
Because all those people, JSA people, are in a bit of 52 actually, so he probably is in some form in that.
Yeah, they deal a bit with some of the
Infinity Inc. stuff.
Black Adam has a big part in Jeff Johns' JSA, and they kind of touch on some of the fallout from that in 52.
Interesting. Okay, very cool. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay.
Cool.
So, Doug, tell me about your week. What's up? How are you doing? What are you?
What am I?
Yeah.
How dare you?
What are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been I took a long break on this, but I was going back to watching more of the original Doctor Who this week, just as kind of a little
the original Doctor Who. You mean 60s?
Yes, I mean I'm watching through the first Doctor.
Yeah,
and I'm almost done. It's gotten a little bit the pace ratchets up at a certain point in terms of watching these because I've talked before about the frustration with missing episodes with you. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the show, but there are whole episodes and whole serials that are just missing.
Jesus.
So or 2 out of 4 will be missing or something, and it's I don't want to I got really frustrated. I watched a few of the they have reconstructed versions of them, which is basically they have the audio and images. So you basically watch a slideshow with an audiobook over it, and I was starting to get real done with that. So
that's annoying.
So I'm just watching full serials or like maybe if there's like one missing one in one, I'll try to like watch one of the reconstructed ones. Or
well, what can you do?
Sometimes they'll have animated versions for the big ones. They've done that.
Ooh.
Good. They're not animated very well.
Oh.
But it's better than watching a slideshow.
I can feel that. Interesting.
So yeah, I'm like maybe one storyline away from the end of the first Doctor in terms of ones I'll actually watch.
Seriously, just the first Doctor. Like there are like 9 of them before the reboot, right? Or 8?
Yeah, because David Tennant was 10.
Yeah. So there are 8 then, because 9 is in between the show and right. The War Doctor.
No, because they added him in later. Like, David Tennant was 10 before. Like, there was 9, and then there was 10. Was 9. And then John Hurt actually kind of, like, made the numbers really weird, in a way.
Okay.
Because he's technically 10.
Yeah.
And then everyone else should be one further, but they tend to just continue calling them their original numbers.
Wait a minute. You said David Tennant. Christopher Eccleston, you mean?
Oh, sorry. I did say that a few times. Christopher Eccleston was 10.
I know. You always forget.
Wait, no. Christopher Eccleston was 9.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and then the TV movie was 8.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but then John Hurt is between 8 and 9.
Okay.
Good God, this is confusing.
Yeah, this is worse than The Flash.
And they like try to logic that away, quote logic, by saying he's not a real Doctor, like he's not like the 8th Doctor or the 9th Doctor. He's the War Doctor, which is not a number, and you can't do that.
Maybe I need to watch it again, but it doesn't seem there's much of a distinction, honestly. Like I wish that he was like I know it's not fun to like make characters like brutal and whatever for no reason, but I feel like that distinction might have been nice in that sort of little thing with John Hurt, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I get it, like from a storytelling standpoint, but then at the end of like that special, they all like kind of come to terms and like accept him.
Exactly.
And it's like, all right, well now we need to adjust for that.
Yeah.
And whatever. Like the numbering is, who cares?
It's a whole thing.
But it's probably less confusing to not retroactively change existing Doctor's numbers, but
yeah,
whatever.
We can just call the next Doctor Wally West, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. We'll bring back an old Doctor, because he was the true Doctor, and this new Doctor is an imposter.
Mm-hmm.
How was your week?
My week was great. I found a podcast to listen to that was hysterical. I heard about it on Reddit. So it's a podcast of people from New Zealand. I don't know, are all New Zealand people Kiwis, or is that just a certain amount of people? And what do you call other New Zealand? Are they New Zealanders? Is that the thing?
I'm not sure if... I feel like I've heard them refer to themselves as Kiwis. I don't know if that's like an actual like genuine term that they use, or if that's like more of a jokey thing, but...
Okay, whatever. They're from New Zealand, these people. They're the island. And they have a podcast called Cult Popture. And they have this thing called Film Franchise Fortnights, where they watch a whole film franchise and they dissect it. And I listened to them dissect the entire Air Bud film franchise. Have you seen Air Bud, Doug?
I have seen Air Bud, the original.
Golden Retriever playing, was it basketball in the original, I think? I would know better.
It was basketball.
Okay. So they
jumped in the air to do the basket.
Yes. So, Doug, there are 5 Air Bud movies.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also a huge Air Bud cinematic universe that includes the 5. It includes 7 Air Buddies movies.
Yep.
And it includes the Santa Paws.
Wait, what?
2 movies called the Santa Paws, which is about Santa Claus.
Connected to Air Bud?
Santa Claus has a dog named Santa Paws, and he has a puppy named Puppy Paws, and the 2 movies are weird. And
how is that connected to Air Bud?
They're part of the same franchise.
Are they are they like connected via Air Buddies?
So yeah, in Air Buddies details the adventures of Air Bud's kids, but his kids that were part of this franchise. He actually had kids in the real Air Bud franchise, but those kids were retconned.
You keep calling them kids like they're human children.
Air Bud had puppies in the original
Yes.
5-film franchise, but the Air Buddies in that film franchise aren't the same Air Buddies, which is really funny.
Oh my god. So it's an alternate universe.
Right? Or they just forgot about some of their kids or some of their puppies and they just didn't want to have adventures with them because they're not special. Or they died at an early age or something. So
they died and he had more puppies.
Yes. So the Air Buddies puppies had an adventure during Christmas called the Legend Snow Buddies or Christmas Buddies. Something like that.
Shit.
So that introduced Santa Paws into the mix, and then they had a spin-off of Santa Paws and Puppy Paws.
Okay. Is that it? Is that all of them?
Well, I think there are also more because they have stuff called the Pup Star, and they have like Most Valuable Primate is technically done by the same Air Bud label. So I think that means it's in the same universe. Have you seen Most Valuable Primate?
I vaguely remember that title.
It's a chicken, or not chicken, chimpanzee playing hockey.
Oh shit. That's what that is.
Yes, that's what it is. So, Doug, sorry, this is getting me off topic. This brought me to my idea. Do you know those old bad Marvel movies from like 80s that were like really shitty, like low budget? Like I think there was a Hulk, I think there was a Thor, I think there was a Captain America.
There's definitely a Captain America. I don't know about these other ones.
I think there's a Thor, and I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like we should watch them, and I think we should have a section on here where we review them, because they're probably really terrible and funny.
Have they ever released that, like, did anyone ever put out that horrible Fantastic Four movie that they made?
The one
in the 80s or 90s?
Is that the one from Arrested Development?
Did they reference that movie in Arrested Development?
Well, no,
the Fantastic Four stuff?
The joke was that Maria Bamford's character was in that movie, and it was like, God, it's a whole thing. But yes, they reference a bad Fantastic Four movie. That's why they make the musical.
Okay, so it was unreleased, but it is on the internet.
We'll have to, that's added in there.
It is an unreleased Fantastic Four movie that is like infamous for being just like they had to make a movie to keep the rights.
Yeah.
So they did.
Yeah.
And it looks horrible from everything I've seen.
See, this is what I want to do. I love watching bad movies like that. I think we should do that. I think we should, like, the day before we record, we watch the movie, and then we talk about it.
Or we could watch them and do film commentary.
You mean like Mystery Science Theater kind of stuff? I don't think we're funny enough for that.
I guess. Maybe not.
In any case, I think we should do it because listening to that Air Bud, scintillating conversation was really great. Like, they go over stuff like the plausibility scale of like, could the dog actually do this? Or like, it's just some great stuff. Great puns in that universe too.
I found a pretty decently high-res version of this Fantastic Four movie.
Download it.
It looks awful.
Download it.
Anyways, that sounds fun. We should try to make something like that happen. No guarantees.
I think it's just right in front of the next Avengers movie. So we're rewatching all the Marvel movies that you enjoyed. Okay, first off, Captain America.
Or we should watch like that horrible Justice League pilot that they made for the like Justice League TV show.
The cartoon?
No, the live action one.
Oh, I didn't even know about this.
It looks terrible.
Oh no.
There's like oh god, just look up live action Justice League TV show.
Okay.
There's a man dressed in as Martian Manhunter. In that show that just looks terrible. I cannot find an image of it.
I'll find it. Okay. Well, Doug, cool. That was my week. I'm excited.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about some news. All right. So, news highlights this week. The big thing that happened is we got a trailer for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we fucking did.
The new Marvel Studios movie starring Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, who's kind of a cosmic Almost. I always sometimes want to say. Always sometimes. Sometimes I want to say like Superman-esque character in Marvel.
I mean,
like,
it is.
She's not like an analog in the way that some other characters are.
She's not like the Sentry, but she's got those powers.
But like, you know, she is the big like flying super strength like energy beams character. Like she maps power wise fairly similarly to a Superman. But
I would say Green Lantern without the light constructs, maybe.
Like in like mythos wise, like in terms of like her world and her,
because isn't that what Alpha Flight is? Like Green Lantern?
Not really. That would be more like the Nova Corps.
Okay,
would be more like the Green Lanterns. But anyways, going down a rabbit hole there. But
sorry, yeah.
The Captain Marvel trailer dropped, and Jack, you say you have concerns. What is your concern?
I have a concern. Okay, overall, I thought this trailer was great, really awesome. I'm super pumped and everything. I love punching old ladies in the face on the bus. I love...
They offer no hint or explanation why she would do that. And
I feel like it's going to be really an old lady.
Oh my god! Like
she's gonna make a mistake.
It's a scroll,
yeah.
And then she punches her, and then someone's like, "Why did you punch that old lady?" And she's like, "It's a scroll." And they're like, "No, just an old lady."
I think that's gonna be it. I really
That'd be incredible.
In any case, so I really liked it. I think they should carry on the tradition of having characters go through the ceiling of buildings. I think that should be an ongoing joke. I think that'd be great.
What?
But my concern
what do you mean?
What?
What are you talking about?
In this trailer, one of the first things that they show is her going through the roof of a Blockbuster.
Oh, like the Hulk bit? Yeah. She goes into a Blockbuster video.
Yes, exactly. Great way
also, she did it before Hulk?
She did.
This is in the 90s?
She did, and it's hipster because it's the 90s. But I have a concern. So, I don't know. What did you think about how she spoke? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's a trailer. It's fairly limited.
Yeah, and they don't even need to use the same audio.
I feel like she didn't sound like, I don't know, tough enough.
She sounded like a Valley Girl, kind of.
I don't think she sounded like a Valley Girl.
Not
I think
Valley
that's going
Girl. That's a little far, but like she sounded basic.
I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that word.
That? Why?
I fucking hate the use of that word in modern culture. Like, what the... Anyways, moving on.
What do you mean? She sounds just like a basic bitch.
You're like driving me actually up a fucking wall right now. I am on the wall behind me, up on the ceiling like Spider-Man. Oh, I hate it. It's so stupid.
But it makes sense what it refers to.
No, I hate it conceptually. I hate it sociologically. I hate this concept that like if you aren't the most interesting world in the person, you're boring.
That's not what I'm talking about.
The most interesting world in the person? Did I say that just now?
Yeah, she said something weird. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying, okay, I usually don't use it in a lot of contexts, but Captain Marvel shouldn't be what we see as basic, okay?
No, yeah, I think I'm gonna read between the lines here on what you actually said because I think I agree with kind of the sentiment vaguely. Again, I think these lines are all very out of context.
They are.
But, like, I feel like there should be a little more intensity
or
from
Captain
Marvel.
Or just strength.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she'll be in, like, a weak place this whole time, and maybe she will be that kind of character, but I just hope we get that evolution if that's, like, a starting point.
Yeah, there are shots in this that imply at least visually that she is going to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, where she looks like fucking badass.
Yes.
But like, I think of like more than really most other characters in the Marvel universe, like Carol Danvers is like, she's the fucking like hard ass one who like gets shit done, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And like, she's saying that kind of stuff, but I don't hear it in her voice. Like she's like, you don't know what I am. And she's like, I don't know how to do her voice. I don't want to.
It's just very, I don't know.
Can you just say the word?
Yeah,
it's
just like
very
every day. Like she sounds like she's just doing an everyday character piece as opposed to like this very.
Which would be kind of like what kind of voice? Tell me.
I'm fucking saying your stupid phrase that I think is poisoning our culture.
But it kind of applies here, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
A little bit.
Anyways.
Okay, in any case, that was my only concern. D.H. Samuel Jackson looks awesome. Agent Coulson looks great. I'm pumped all around.
Yeah, I think visually, like, the trailer hits all the right notes. I think, she looks really cool. I think the like, Kree kind of mythology they seem to be building up around her looks, like, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I am very excited for this movie. I am hopeful. I hope that we are just not getting the most intense moments from her.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe holding that stuff back, but I feel like, I that's what I was hoping for from this trailer, and I didn't really get it.
Yeah. Well, we'll know in the future. We're still at the primary stages. How many months? March is when it comes out?
It's just before, or a few months before Avengers 4. So, Let's see, Captain Marvel. It's coming out on 8th of March, yep.
Okay, speaking of all this Marvel Studios stuff, by the way, did you see that tweet that Anthony or Joe Russo put out?
Like the look closely or whatever they say?
Yeah. What is that?
I have no fucking idea. I pored over that image for so long, just being like, what the fuck is it?
It's so annoying.
I think
feel
it's a
like
troll.
They're just trolling, yeah.
I think it's just they just know if they say something cryptic like that, like telling people to look at the pour over the photo, and then there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of like small details in it or whatever. Like people are going to pour over it and try to figure out like what the fuck is the thing here, and there's nothing.
You know, it'd be really funny if like in the background,
hilarious.
If in the background of something they like had written Half-Life 3 confirmed.
That would be very good.
Or Dick Butt. That'd be easy too.
Dick Butt.
In any case, okay, what's this next one? Oh, I wrote this in. You didn't change any of my things. Good for you.
I sort of changed one of them, but anyways.
Okay, whatever. Well, you're hosting, so go ahead, Doug.
Okay, so apparently, this is a report by Variety.
Yeah.
That says that Loki and Scarlet Witch and maybe other Marvel characters are going to headline their own series on the Disney streaming service. It sounds like they're trying to make some kind of movie spin-off solo series happen on their new Disney-centric streaming service.
With like second-tier characters that wouldn't get like a movie by themselves, I guess. Which is, I mean, and it says specifically that Tom Hiddleston and like those people would actually play these characters, which is really
fucking crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Like that's the first, like the Netflix shows are great.
Yeah.
They tie into the movies in like Easter egg stuff, but they don't really feel like they're in the same universe.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like does feel tied into that because like characters do show up and stuff, but like I don't know, it's not like big characters in the way that this is.
Oh yeah, this is a huge deal, and it would attract so many people to their streaming service.
Like this would be a fucking crazy way to like make the TV stuff, and it would also be a really cool way for them to bridge the gap between those two. Like, what if they had Netflix or ABC characters show up in this?
Yeah,
Or they probably wouldn't have other bigger movie characters show up in this, but like. Yeah, like this. I think this would be really cool.
Yeah, and also like they mentioned a possible budget, didn't they? In this, they said they were thinking around like 25 million. I saw that somewhere in there.
It says expected to carry budgets north of 25 million.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if it says budgets, so I assume that's per show, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this sounds crazy. I would be surprised if this ends up happening.
But then again, you have people like Tom Hiddleston who says that this character is like one of his favorite things he's ever done.
Yeah,
and why wouldn't he want to do this?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he would want to do it. I don't know. It feels like there would just be a lot of like a lot of hoops to jump through internally for them to make this happen.
Scheduling,
budgetary
and
concerns and scheduling.
I mean, it's Disney. Do they have much budgetary concerns anymore?
But like the return on their investment for a TV show, like
no, I know what you mean.
Not sure if it would be there, but it could be. I don't know.
Hey, they said their streaming platform is supposed to be less money than Netflix, and they're going to have so much to choose from, especially now that they have all of Fox's library as well, right?
One would assume they're going to get that stuff. Yeah,
so I mean, that's a fuck ton of stuff, and it's not even just family friendly. So I don't know if they're just going to have. I wonder if PG-13 is going to be the highest that they go on their streaming platform, or if they'll have any R-rated stuff. I mean,
if they've got Fox's stuff, they're going to have like tons of not like R-rated stuff.
I know, but like, how are they going to? I just don't know what they're going to.
They'll probably just have some sort of parental controls, or like
maybe the default will be like to have the controls on or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. Like they have stuff like that for like Netflix. Like there's a kids channel. It would probably be, I would imagine it'd be something like that. Like if you want your kids to be able to go on there with unsupervised, make a kids profile for them or whatever, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know how they're gonna fucking solve that. But I think this would be really cool. I'm not sure I believe it's 100% gonna happen, but like it does sound like they're like in the works right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So this is a very, very brief little bit of information. They put out some teaser posters and a teaser trailer for Daredevil Season 3.
That teaser poster looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's another one where he's looking up at... So there's one that you posted where it's like...
his mask on a cross.
Yes, it's a very Catholic graveyard-looking image.
Yeah.
Which is definitely fitting for what it sounds like they're going to be doing with this season. But and then there's one where he's looking up at the city, and they just subtly hid Avengers Tower in the background, which is cool, but again, kind of highlights the fact that they are connected, but not really.
I've heard that a lot of like this one's going to lay into like his Catholicism and like stuff like that's going on between him, and apparently, I don't know. I don't know that much going on with him right now because I didn't watch Defenders, and I was wondering if you could give me a spoilery short synopsis of his arc in Defenders. Did he like die or something?
Everyone thinks he's dead right now, I believe, is what's if you're not going to watch it, sorry, spoilers for Daredevil, or sorry, for Defenders.
I mean, I asked for spoilers. Yeah.
No, I just mean for the listeners, but,
oh yeah, them.
Oh, those fuckers. Hi, we love you.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I spoiled Defenders. So they were in a big fight with, I assume you're not going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. So, they got in a big fight with, the Hand, and, Elektra was in their service. She got kind of like brainwashed weirdly.
Yeah. Well, wait. Also, I would do, speaking of spoilers, when I was watching Daredevil Season 2, I was like literally on like one of the last episodes and Elektra was there. And my sisters, I might have told you, my girlfriend's sister came in the room and she saw Elektra on screen. She'd been watching Defenders. She's like, oh, that's the girl who dies and gets resurrected, right?
Fucking goddamn it!
I shit you not.
You can't fucking do that. It's like you're literally watching it right now. How would you even answer that question? So why even say it? And two, you can't fucking do that.
Like oh my god, I couldn't. It was almost just too funny for me to be mad at it. But like, who does that?
Fucking ridiculous.
In any case, go ahead. Elektra is brainwashed.
Yeah, she got brainwashed, and they were in a big fight in the bottom of this like tower, this building in New York, and they brought the building down on them. And so Matt like stayed behind. Daredevil stayed behind to like keep her, or he was like trying to the last second to like convince her to be good. And anyways, the building goes down on the two of them.
Okay.
And the rest of the Hand.
But he's obviously not dead.
They reveal at the end of the episode, has narrowly escaped. I think the implication is that Elektra is dead.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
and that he's shitty about it?
They leave it vaguely open. He's not shitty about it.
No, he feels bad about it, I mean.
Oh, he feels shitty about it. Yeah, I'm sure.
But, like, what's all this stuff about, like, I want to know about his, like, arc. Like, did he, like, lose faith? Like, because I saw that teaser. Did he, like, lose faith in, like, the justice system?
He moved... I don't know. I don't really know what his arc was in Defenders, to be honest. Like, okay. I mean, it maybe pushed him more towards, like, being, like, not working with the police or something. I'm not sure. Okay. But, I
can see how, like, his falling out with Foggy would have done that. You know what I mean?
Most of his, quote, arc in Defenders was, like, him, like, coming to terms with what happened with Elektra. It was pretty Elektra-centric for his character. Foggy kind of became much more on board with what was happening.
What do you mean?
With him being Daredevil.
Oh, interesting.
Because he found out in the second season, right?
Yeah, well, he might have found out at the end of the first, and then he knew about it the whole second season.
Anyways, it was a big thing in season 2 where he was being a little bitch about him being Daredevil.
Well, because Foggy left the practice, I think.
I fucking hate all that Foggy stuff in that second season.
Really? You don't like the Foggy stuff? I hate the, like, Madame Chow stuff.
Whatever, she's fine. But, like, the Foggy, yeah, just, like, I fucking hate in media, like, you lied to me plot lines that get dragged out forever. Okay, it's like, they're enemies now because he didn't tell you that he was Daredevil. Like, fuck off. Like, ugh. Anyways, he, like, kind of, like, comes around and is like, I know this is a part of your life and I'm, like, going to support you, kind of, in my own way.
Okay.
So that was kind of a thing. I don't know that there was anything really major with him, that I can recall.
Okay.
But yeah, he wakes up at the end of the show, after being in the wreck, in a, like, what would be the word? Where, like, nuns live.
Shit. Convent.
Maybe, yeah. Convent, or like a monastery,
church?
Or a what? Yeah, I don't know. It's a Catholic church of some kind. Anyways, I don't know what that is.
A holy place.
Convent. It might be a convent. It might just be a church. I'm not sure. But he wakes up and he's being, like, cared for by nuns. Is the, like, last bit of him we see, and they call out for Maggie, Sister Maggie, and that is Daredevil's mom.
Oh shit.
So that is going to be a thing.
Okay.
In season 3, and it's probably going to deal a bit more with his faith and Catholicism.
I'm super pumped, and that comes out October 19th. That's coming up.
October 19th. Yep. Did you watch that? Did you watch the little teaser trailer?
I did. It's him in the confessional, right?
There's that one. Yep. And then there's this other one where it's just light swinging and a bunch of shots. Anyways, I think they're putting him back in the fucking, like, black outfit again.
Yeah, which is kind of
the first season.
Interesting.
Which, like, I'm very torn on. Like, because I really liked that look. And in some ways I like that look more than the traditional, like, Daredevil costume they ended up giving him. But also, like, I don't know. Feels like we kind of earned that Daredevil costume.
I know. I know. Well, the whole first season built up to him, like, getting that costume, basically, so it feels like a step back. But on the other hand, like, I don't know. He feels a little less ominous when he's in the Daredevil costume, to me.
He does. Like, I really like that there was something so unique and cool about that, like, headscarf, whatever you want to call it, the rag he wore on his head.
Yeah.
The like black mask that he wore that didn't have any eye holes and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's something really cool about that one. So I don't know. I'm torn on it. I kind of wish we hadn't gone backwards from the full Daredevil costume, but whatever.
I'm really excited, though. It should be an interesting season because it seems like his status quo, at least as a character, has changed a lot. And, yeah, a lot of people say that Wilson Fisk is probably going to be the main baddie of this season again, so that's great.
That's exciting.
Really exciting.
I love Wilson Fisk. I love Kingpin. I hope did they say they were getting Bullseye in this season?
I don't. Oh wait, didn't they cast him?
I feel like they cast him.
I think they cast him. I'm pretty sure he's there. Yeah,
I really want Bullseye. That's like the big like character I want in this season.
Why? Have you read something that he's like? What kind of character is that? I think he's just like a mercenary.
He is. He's kind of a little bit of like a sociopathy kind of like. I don't know. He like loves being like a killer for hire. You know.
Okay.
He relishes it. And he's the like the best marksman in the world or whatever. You know. He's really cool.
Okay.
The biggest, I have not read the Daredevil, like the big Daredevil runs with him in it, but he was a big part of Warren and Ellis's Thunderbolts, which is Thunderbolts is a Marvel team that is basically Marvel villains trying to be heroes.
Oh, that's fun.
The roster changes at various points, but the Warren Ellis run on it has Daredevil on it as this kind of like unchained, like they keep him almost as like a Hulk character in that like we don't want to fucking deal with this guy, but he is the last solution, you know?
Interesting.
It's really cool.
Very cool. Well, yeah,
cool.
I'm pumped.
So, and then sort of kind of soft transitioning into our weekly comics a little bit.
Soft?
So,
he was
hard.
soft, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Flaccid. DC came out with Batman Damned this week.
Yeah.
In which you do see
the Bat Dick.
You see Batman's Dick Grayson. And you see his Lil Wayne.
It's just too funny. It's not that little. It's soft. He's a grower, not a shower.
But I just like someone's. I can't take credit for that. Someone else said that, but it's Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
But
does that mean our copies cost a lot more and are more expensive?
So yeah, the thing that happened. So they put out this book, and it has very in some like very heavily shaded.
Oh yeah, that's not like right out there.
Bruce Wayne's penis. But they allowed them to put it in the book. It's in there.
Yeah.
I don't think they like made a huge deal out of it in the book. It's just there.
It's just there.
And then DC got skittish about it just as the book came out, and they censored it in the digital edition. And this was this run, I assume, sold out. And future printings of this book will also be censored. Future printings. Of course, printings. What else? What other kind of printings are there? God damn it. So, subsequently, the value of print copies of this book have, if you look on Amazon at like the aftermarket for this stuff, the lowest price that I saw in there was $80.
Jesus.
So, the highest price being $199.
Wow.
So I don't know if that'll hold up.
We have a collector's copy now. This is
but
so
theoretically, great. Like if they do future printings and more people buy this book, like this becomes a weird printing oddity thing, you know?
Yeah.
Weird censorship thing that is like the kind of thing that collectors, go for.
But who knows if they're going to release an uncensored version in the future? You know what I mean?
They may. But I just find that very funny.
Like, I remember reading it and, like, thinking, okay, whatever. That's cool. It's Black Label. And then I got through, and then this whole hubbub, and I was like, oh, really? Why is it such a big deal?
It was, like, people were making, like, a million jokes about it before the book came out because it got out that they were going to show it. And, like, people were making a million Batman's dick jokes on Twitter. And then, I read the book and I was like, whatever. Like, it wasn't a big deal. But apparently, this is going to be a weird oddity looking back on this book that these copies have Batman's penis. Feel proud, Jack.
I do. I feel really proud to be a part of this moment, the Bat Dick moment.
Proud owner of Batman's dick.
Yes.
So let's move on.
Wait, quickly, sorry, brief. Did you see the Joker stuff with Joaquin Phoenix?
I did.
What do you think?
I don't know. I just don't I think it doesn't look bad. Like, I don't care. Why do we need a movie about the Joker? Like, we have had so much fucking Joker shit, and like, I don't want a story about the Joker. I just don't. I don't.
It's gonna be the next Thanos, Doug. It's gonna convince you that stuff about villains is great.
Ugh. Anyways.
Anyway.
I have thoughts on that, but I won't get into them. So let's move on into our weekly comics. So we both read a bunch of books this week. It was a very large week.
Yes.
That was an understatement that we read a bunch of books. There were many, many books. I had to drop a few. I had to not pick up a few things in order
Spider-Man,
to
a couple annuals, right?
Yeah, I didn't pick up a couple annuals. I think a few things got shifted from the release schedule.
Okay.
So it ended up being slightly lighter than it was going to be, but it was going to be an enormous week for me compared to how many I normally have. It was also a very big week for you. We both read. Jack, why don't you tell them what we read?
Okay, we both read Avengers number 8, Batman Damned number 1, Black Hammer Age of Doom number 5, Death of Glory number 5, Ice Cream Man number 5, Venom number 6, Immortal Hulk number 6, Pearl number 2, Justice League number 8, and Mr. Miracle number 11. And I read alone Life of Captain Marvel number 3 and Skyward number 5.
Okay. I also read Batman number 55, Seven to Eternity number 11, and The Wildstorm.
Got a lot of 5s.
Wow, yeah, and a 55.
And a 55, right. Okay.
Schwiggity.
So this is our spoiler warning, Barilla. And Doug, what's your cover of the week?
My cover of the week, this week, which I will actually very quickly.
I have it up.
Oh, you do? You found it?
Yeah.
Okay, and it is the one with the big cloud.
With the big cloud, yes.
Big cloud. Okay, so my favorite cover this week was The Wildstorm number 17. And it is like the thing I like about this cover. I mean, one, like the colors are cool, as in like all of the colors and all these covers are cool. It's very simple, like it's monochromatic, black, white, and red. It's kind of injected into that, but it's a big, wide scale image of this, like, what I assume is a wheat field, or it's maybe grass. Anyway, it's like farmland. And there is a barn in the distance, and it is being blown over by this fucking enormous storm cloud, lightning coming out of it. And then way up in the corner, real little, is this little guy who's flying in the air, controlling the storm cloud, if you read the book. And I just really like the sense of scale on this cover.
Yeah.
I think it's images like this, like the very specific composition of images like this that like really show, in a lot of ways, the it's like it just showcases the talent of this artist in this book, John Davis Hunt, and like also like Warren Ellis works with very specific types of artists. That first book that you read from Warren Ellis, Cemetery Beach, is actually kind of atypical in terms of art on a Warren Ellis book. But generally he picks people who have this very specific kind of like style of framing their scenes. They're all very carefully composed. And I really like it. I love the sense of scale. I love kind of just the thought that went into making this different from your typical cover. You know, like it's a lot of basically what amounts to negative space. And I like how it kind of like is trying to do something different.
I really love, the sense of scale thing is great, especially in this sense, because it really, the art really shows the grand scale that this person's power is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of times you lose that in the little by little panels, when they're using their powers in this moment, but, images like this really takes you back and it's like, oh yeah, this person can do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like it shows like this dude is a tiny little person and he can do this fucking huge thing in the form of like making this giant storm. And it really makes like the storm feel huge.
Yes.
Like, and it's a big deal. I really like it.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is 24 issues, I guess?
Yep. As far as I know, they've had this counter from 1 to 24 on the top of every cover since the beginning. So I assume it is going to be a 24 issue series. Warren Ellis building towards what I assume is a new run of the Authority. And I'm so excited they introduced some very, very central Authority characters as a cliffhanger at the end of this issue in a way that made me very excited. It is, if you were a fan of that series, it is the ones you have been waiting to see.
So would you say this series is like every single issue performs and is great?
Oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite Warren Ellis books. Okay. It's very good. I'm really excited. I would be hard pressed to say it. Like, you could definitely jump into this 100% knowing nothing about any of his other stuff.
I would want to do the Authority though.
That's probably what I'd say. Like, if you have an interest in reading Authority, like it's probably like you get a little bit more out of this series just because it is written as a new universe built from the ground up, and like they are introducing things very organically.
Mm-hmm.
But like it is also built with the understanding that like people who are fans of this are going to be like it plays with your expectations and it plays with what you want from these characters and what you know of these characters. And I don't know all of these characters, but I know a lot of the big ones, at least the Authority ones. I'm really enjoying it. It's really good.
Okay. Very cool. Well, Doug, my cover of the week is Life of Captain Marvel number 3, which I linked to in the description.
I feel like you changed this.
What?
Okay. Oh, for some reason I thought you said Mr. Miracle, but maybe I misread.
Yeah, that's weird, Doug. Why would you read the wrong thing?
Okay, you did change it.
I did.
Okay,
Mr. Miracle is
I'm
great
looking at
too,
it right now.
But we're always talking about it. I love these covers because they look great, and I love the painted style. So this is Julian Totino Tedesco.
Okay.
Is that someone you know?
I am familiar with, I assume that is a man, so his work. I don't like, or at least I'm familiar with his name, I guess I should say. I feel like he does a lot of covers at Marvel.
Okay.
My inkling on it, but I don't know.
Well, I think he does well on covers, and I really like the style that he has here, and I love, as much as I love, I don't know, the texturing, on her and everything in the background is it just makes everything feel really, grounded, and for some reason, even though shit's, going down, and it kind of comments on what the story is, it's a grounded thing where stuff is kind of happening, starting to happen, and starting to get fucked up because of her, in a way. And I think that's reflected in this cover really, really well. I don't know. I just really like it as an image. I know it's just a random action stance thing, but I love how everything around her is getting destroyed, but she's trying to keep a strong face, in the midst of it all. And her mom and brother are in the background, being all freaked out with all the shit. And I don't know. I love this series and I love these covers, and I wanted to talk about this cover. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, there's a cool sense of bleakness in this.
Yes, that too. It's not, and it's that kind of book too, in a way. Up until now, okay, I mean, this book has mostly been a lot of family drama, but with a sprinkle of cosmic stuff happening, which is kind of it reads in the book so crazily. Because have you ever heard of in Outer Limits, in one episode, or the first episode, they had this basically a sitcom about a family, and it was just a random family drama for 30 minutes. And then the last thing that they did was they zoomed out of the house. They zoomed out of the town they were in, zoomed out of the state, zoomed out of the country, zoomed out of the world, and then they zoomed into this far-off place in space where an alien with a big telescope was watching these people. And that was the whole episode. It reminds me of this book a little bit. Which is, I just loved it. And it's great, and you should read it. So, yeah, add it to your poll.
That's really good to hear that the series ended up being good. I ended up skipping on it just because I wasn't really familiar with the writer's work. Who's the writer on that? I see Stoll.
David Stoll. Margaret Stoll.
Margaret Stoll. Okay. I'm not familiar with her work. And so I just ended up I think I had a heavy week or something. And
I know.
Didn't grab it.
I know.
And like it. I'm glad to hear that it's good. It's great. I think this looks really cool. I really want to kind of learn more about the
life of Captain
personal
Marvel.
life, or the more of the character of Captain Marvel, because all of my experience with Captain Marvel is her in other stuff like Avengers and other Marvel Universe stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever read a book where Captain Marvel was the key player. So
definitely,
I'm definitely interested if you're recommending this book. So
I am for sure.
Pick it up at some point.
It feels like a mixture between Royal City and whatever cosmic shit, superhero book. It has a lot of Royal City family drama vibes to me. But that's cool. It's great. But Doug, cool. What do you got to talk about?
I have got to talk about
Batdick.
Batman Damned #1. So this is the first book in DC's previously announced Black Label imprint, because they have 67 imprints now. Everyone gets one. So Black Label is DC's basically non-continuity mature line. So they get basically, I think the idea is we get A-list talent to do kind of standalone graphic novel type content that will have, it'll be a graphic novel, it'll have a beginning, a middle, and an end, so it'll be a limited series of some kind. And it won't be in continuity, so they can do whatever they want. And for mature audiences. And this book is by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. They are an established kind of creative team. They've done a lot of stuff together. And I was very surprised upon, the most striking thing upon picking this book up. So I did not know the format that this book was going to be in.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be a comic book. And I got it from my store, and it is I'm not sure if this is this more magazine sized, or is this just a non-traditional kind of
I don't know
dimension?
What kind of size it is.
I'm not sure, but it's almost more square. It's it's definitely more square, but it's almost square.
Yeah.
In size, it's both taller and definitely way wider than a normal comic book. So it's this huge magazine that you're reading.
It's actually not that much taller.
It's only a little bit taller. Yeah, it's mostly the width.
Yeah,
but it's just huge. And when you couple that with Lee Bermejo's painted and kind of just painted art, it's really breathtaking visually. Having it be printed so big and huge and take up so much space, the pages are so big, that it's just on just purely a visual level. It's just really pretty to look at.
Yeah,
I really like that. And what did you think of the story of this book? Just as this is the first entry in this Black Label format. I don't know if this is what the actual format of the other books will be in. Probably not, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, like, what did you think of this as kind of the first of those books?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the next ones.
You didn't like this?
I think the art is great and it's beautiful. I just don't really understand the point of the writing. Like, I don't like the writing, and
You don't like the narration?
No, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's how John Constantine speaks or something like that. But
yeah, it took me back for a little bit until they revealed it was John Constantine, and then it clicked for me, and I was fine with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really get, like I get what's happening. I just don't feel like I care yet. And I feel like I should care after the first book if there are only going to be 3 for a trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I really like this story. I like the way that it's like, it's putting Batman in just kind of like a mystery that he's at the center of, but it, at the end of the day, is just kind of like Batman solving a mystery. I like the ways in which it's kind of reframing a lot of the, kind of dark mystical side of the DC universe. I don't know, like, it is like you didn't get a ton of story content in this first issue other than kind of the setup.
But if it's this big, why shouldn't you?
Like, we got the first act. Like, I get this as a first act structure. I think, like, I got enough to hook me in this book.
Yeah, I don't know. I want Batman in a weak place, and I think that's great. It doesn't feel like a mystery to me yet that he's solving. It feels like he is at the center of the mystery, and he's being tortured by it more so, but he's not, like, solving anything, which I want. I don't know. I wanted more him trying to solve a mystery as opposed to him just, I don't know. I like him in an emotionally vulnerable place, which he definitely is, but I feel like they're doing too much of that.
Okay.
I don't know
I don't know that it bothered me in that way, but okay.
But then you have all this stuff with Enchantress. Like, that's Enchantress, right? Going on?
That was my impression, but I'm not sure.
Okay, because, like, I think she has those half-moon necklaces and shit, and they show that.
I came to the conclusion it was Enchantress as well, but I'm not 100%.
And then, like, Dead Man, but, like, what could possibly, like, is some dark supernatural force is against Batman and wants to frame him for murder?
I think that's the implication here.
That doesn't seem like a hook for me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
That's me. I love the art. The writing, or maybe even it's just like the kind of storyline that it is, doesn't hook me as much.
I found that interesting. But okay.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I feel like you have liked stories that have much less story content than this.
Like, but I feel it's the kind of story then, maybe. I don't know. The idea, why would supernatural forces be even concerned with Batman whatsoever? What does that
You don't know.
gain?
You don't know yet.
I guess so.
Yet. It's a mystery.
I guess I just don't care. Because, like if they're so petty to worry about the world of the living, then why do I want to read about their thing? You know what I mean?
Okay. You're getting very widely conceptual about that, but okay.
I don't know.
We don't know why it's a mystery. We don't know why like those kind of forces would be concerned with Bruce Wayne.
And what's this reveal at the end with Jesus with the Joker stuff? Is he not dead then, or is someone just?
I mean, certainly seems to be what it implies, that he's not dead.
But that also
or that he's somehow come back from the dead, or he's a ghost, or something. We don't know yet.
Or he's Jesus.
Yep, this is him. He's been turned into Jesus.
I mean, maybe he has a cult or something, and they are actually...
I assume if we're using Jesus imagery here, and we, Joker has just died, as far as we know, and the previous page, John Constantine says, do you believe in an... he says, Joker's dead, or he isn't. Do you believe in an afterlife? So I assume the implication here is, that Joker has returned from the dead.
I don't know. I feel like there were story beats that I recognized, and like I said, okay, I should feel something with this, and then I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Anyways, I'm going to keep reading it because I really liked it.
I want to hear how it is, and I want to, yeah.
I definitely agree that, like, the art was the main draw here.
Yes.
But I appreciated what the story was going for, even if it didn't, like, 100% ring home all the time. But I think it was promising enough a story that it could deliver something very satisfying in 2 more of these sized things.
Okay. And who knows, maybe I'll get the other ones just to complete the set if we have collector's editions now, you know?
I assume that they will not be showing Batman's deck again.
No, I know, but just like to be like, hey, I have all... Yeah. Well, I guess this one would be the main thing.
Hey, I mean, if you didn't like it that much, you can go on the internet and you can sell this for at least $80 right now. You can make a good $74 profit on this book.
Well, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Or 73. Anyways, so Jack, I would have picked your book if you hadn't picked it.
I know, because Jesus Christ,
this is probably actually both of our gotta talk about it in reality. But let's just fucking talk about Mr. Miracle this
number 11.
So okay, number 11 out of 12. So this is the second to last issue of Tom King and Mitch Garrett's Mr. Miracle series.
So by the way,
boy, did some things happen.
By the way, I am really glad that I've read Final Crisis recently, because in Final Crisis, both the character of Metron is in it, and the Miracle Machine is in it.
Yeah, they introduced that in that. Did they? Yeah, that's right. They did reference that. I couldn't remember exactly which Crisis event that was introduced in, but I am familiar with that idea.
Yes. So yeah, let's so Mr. Miracle. Okay, so let's give a little background to everybody here. Mr. Miracle, the veggie tray is a big symbol. It really is actually. Tray. It's great. But
I mean, it's just kind of like it's a symbol of like the mundanity of their lives.
Yes.
You know, like it is a visual like joke to underscore like that. Hey, these are still just fucking like people, and this is weird family drama.
They need nutrients too. But in any case, Mr. Miracle and Big Barda have a son, and Darkseid has proposed that they end the war between Apocalypse and New Genesis by them giving up their son to Darkseid, so that he's raised like Scott Free and Big Barda were raised, and how Orion was raised. They sort of trade in a way, which isn't really a trade, but I guess it is a trade because Apocalypse is kind of like holding all the cards.
Yeah, they're trading their son to end the war. Like that is what they're receiving.
Yeah,
is that the war will end.
So I mean that's basically the premise. So now they're going to hatch a plan based off of Darkseid and people on Apocalypse thinking that they're giving Jacob, their son, away. And it includes Darkseid eating 8 carrots, which is fantastic.
Yeah, there is a whole page of Darkseid looking down, dipping a carrot in ranch or like veggie dip, whatever, and then eating it.
Mm-hmm.
And then dipping another one and eating that.
It's great. It's just whatever. I'll get
panels
over it.
Of him chewing with crunch sound effects. But like just the fucking way in which just like always this series with like taking these big crazy cosmic superhero concepts and just bringing them all the fucking way down to this very mundane little thing, but then also still allowing you to get that big crazy superhero stuff in there as well, and still making that big, and the contrast between those things being like what really makes all of it work.
Yeah. And can we talk about, can you turn the page to the next page after him having the carrot? Like, I love that. I don't know how many times this has happened, but I don't think it's happened that many times where they split up the page, like the 9-panel grid, so that it's showing 3 of them show a single image. And I love the image of Darkseid being across all three because I think it really gives that foreboding sense. And then the next one being where it's all of our protagonists, Scott-Free, Big Barda, and the baby in one center panel.
Yep.
And then again to him over the entire three panels. It's a really cool image, I think, and a really cool...
It's a really clever way to underscore or like the power dynamic there,
yes,
as well as like actual literal physical scale, but like mostly the power dynamic. Like Darkseid is taking up so fucking much like of the like air in the room, kind of metaphorically, and they're confined to this tiny one panel, and like the space around them gets just as much space as them. On the page. It's a really clever, cool way to do that. They repeat that on the next page as well.
So basically what happens is, they make the quote unquote trade, and Darkseid, in light of the trade, I guess, gives one of his eyes, which is a weapon to use, the anti-life equation.
Yep.
And then, they have their plan where they are going to shoot him with the miracle machine beam and shit.
Yeah, so this has all been a ruse to get themselves in a room with Darkseid, basically.
And this whole Darkseid is, yes, I am panel. Like, they think it's working, and then he powers against them, and Big Barda seemingly gets knocked out. I just love that.
But I also like how the sequence there is, he's going up to punch Barda, because he hasn't been taken down by the big miracle machine weapon that they have, and she says bastard, and then we get a panel we always get these black panels that just say Darkseid is, and then we could take this as either him responding to the kind of non-continuity Darkseid is panel, or we could take it to him physically responding to her calling him a bastard.
Honestly,
in the panel previously,
it probably is the bastard because of what we learn later. Darkseid is probably
but like as a reader, it works as both.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like in the physical scene, yes, he's responding to her saying bastard, but as in the rhythm of the like how you read it, it is also definitely supposed to be him saying like, yes, I am, like specifically that phrase I am is like so specifically responding to Darkseid is, but then it's so good.
Oh my god, wait, I just realized something.
What?
Okay, so after the whole Barda thing, she gets KO'd, and then Scott-Free gets punched after talking about how he was given pain and everything, and it was a great moment, by the way. I didn't realize that this knife made out of Orion came out of the veggie tray.
It did come out of the veggie tray.
I didn't notice that!
Which, like... They must have been using some kind of weird new Genesis technology or whatever, apocalyptian technology, because that doesn't make sense.
But it's kind of like, it acts as a kind of Chekhov's gun now.
Yeah, no, definitely. That carrot tray has been there the whole time. Yeah. But, like, yeah, he pulls this, like, this weapon that he uses to defeat Darkseid out of,
the carrots.
The veggie tray.
I didn't even notice that. Wait.
And then...
Didn't Orion...
And then the fucking thing.
Wait a minute. Didn't Orion eat out of the veg tray once? What if it's the same veg tray? What if that's a thing?
Oh my god, maybe. I don't... he might have. I don't remember.
Whatever. Okay, yeah, then Darkseid gets stabbed through the eye, and then the thing happens, and I'm wondering what Doug thinks about it. I don't think you're gonna... My prediction of your thoughts on it are that I don't think it's the worst case scenario of what you thought it might be.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, let's just talk about it. So so they kill Darkseid. So Darkseid is dead, Orion is dead, Highfather is dead. Many characters are dead. Yes. We've been wondering about whether or not this series, because it doesn't fit at all into the continuity of where these characters are at.
But Tom King has been saying that it does.
He keeps saying this is in continuity. So we've been waiting for the other shoe to drop on that. There had to be a reveal in this series. Specifically just because Tom King was making if he hadn't been making such a big deal about this being in continuity, we would have just been like, okay, whatever. It's just like not really acknowledging continuity, Yeah. But he's kept saying like, this is in continuity. So the end, Darkseid's helper whose
Desaad.
name Desaad, yes. Desaad reveals he lowers his hood, and it's Metron, who's this kind of like, he's sort of a new god.
I get the idea that he's a Loki kind of character.
He's less of a villain and more of a just like, he's a weird neutral power. You know, like he generally allies himself with the new gods more than Apocalypse and Darkseid.
Well, I heard that also he like is very into the pursuit of knowledge in all forms.
That's his main goal.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's all about like, I want to know everything and amass all of the knowledge in the universe.
And he knows a lot now.
So Metron says like, what does he say? He likes you. He says, you have prevailed. You have slain the devil. You have seen fear, embraced fear, mastered fear. Blah blah blah. He says all these things that basically imply that like this was some sort of test.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a whole bunch more of the glitching, which has been a like pattern in this series. That there have been weird glitches on everything. We've been wondering if that was going to be a thing that was just a weird visual thing to make things unsettling, or if there was going to be a canonical explanation.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, I'm still not 100% sure exactly what this means, but he says, you are not, where you are is not where you should be, scot-free. And big next page reveal, we get a huge splash page of, I assume what is a vision of all the regular DC Universe versions.
Or just a representation of the universe he's supposed to be a part of, but he's not there right now.
But these are specifically the normal DC Universe versions of these characters. Like, this is the main Earth Prime, whatever you want to call it. In that, like, we have the current versions of all of these characters and how they look, including
Big Barda.
We've got like characters that are so specific to right now. Like we've got John Kent and Damian way over on the left.
The two Flashes.
Yeah. We've got a few New Gods characters on here, other than they don't have Mr. Miracle on here for some reason. But
because he's in the. Wait, what do you mean? He's the one that we're showing. They wouldn't show Mr. Miracle. Well,
I mean, they're also showing. Oh, I guess Barda's not looking at this, is she?
Anyways. Barda is a part of Metron's whole scheme. It seems like.
No, she is also looking at this. We don't know that. I guess it is. I guess she could be part of this. I don't know. So I think the implication is that this has some sort of weird simulation.
I think he's been in a simulation to see, like, Metron wanted to know how he could do this with Scott. I think it has come after. I feel like that first, like, him slitting his wrists is real, and then Metron took advantage and wanted to see if he could bring him to a place where he felt like he could do something. Like, because even in this specific issue, you know, the first plan was for Big Barda to take the thing and to kill Darkseid with the Miracle Machine stuff. But then, when she was defeated, it came down to Scott Free that needed to do the action. And he just, like, fucking lets loose on him. He's like, fuck you. And that's, like, the slow clap moment of, like, good job. Thank God. Finally, you took something for yourself. And I feel like that's what Metron has been trying to tinker with.
Yeah. This is some sort of gambit to get Scott Free to kind of, like, stand up for himself, to kind of like,
putting him in a position with a child, with his love with Barda, with this crazy war, to where he'll master love, he'll master fear, he'll, challenge the unchallenged, dare the death.
I also just like, and this is a tiny little detail, but I just want to correct you on one of those lines, because he says, you have seen love, embraced love, been mastered by love.
Okay, yes, that's true.
Which reverses because he says mastered fear, mastered whatever.
That's true.
And I just really like that turn of phrase.
That is good.
Anyways.
But then he also, like, I think you dared the trap of death and you escaped. I think that's a thing on, like, because Scott was obviously fine with being caught in the trap of death at the beginning. but now he has dared it and escaped, and I think that's a big deal in the eyes of Metron here too. And the glitchy stuff throughout must have been just, showing that this isn't all happening. This is all, like some sort of simulation.
The other possibility is that it is all actually still yet to be revealed that this was just like I still think there could be a reveal that this was just his imagination as he lay dying. That this is his brain, like, waking him up at the end. It isn't actually a simulation.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like this is a perfectly good explanation for everything that's happened right now.
I don't think they're going to explicitly say. I think what is going to happen is, I think you are maybe correct in that he is just going to wake up after having, like, he's going to wake up in the hospital, or he's going to wake up on the bathroom floor.
Sanctuary?
Having slit his wrists. Or he could be at Sanctuary. It could tie into that. Yeah, and I think it'll just be like he will have those memories and will grow from them, but they're not going to. I would be surprised if they explicitly say whether or not it was a hallucination or an actual test from Metron. I think it works either way. I kind of wish it was an alternate universe, just on its own thing.
I think it's fine that, like, okay, because also some people think that maybe he has been living in the previously desecrated Earth 51, or the Universe 51.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Bit of a stretch? Okay. That was a big New Gods thing,
Like, they're in their pre-Flashpoint looks, like their pre-New 52 looks, but, like, I think that more just has to do with, like, just making them look like the classic versions of themselves, rather than the, like, current in-continuity version.
Okay.
But I don't think it's supposed to be set in, like, because I do think this is, at least mentally, the current continuity version of Scott Free. And he is either hallucinating or being put in this simulation that is just more reflective of the kind of visual look of things, or the old dynamics. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very torn on it. I don't think the reveal was poorly done. I think everything about this book is still very well done. Something about the fact that we're going to go back to just the normal status quo with them, and, like, yes, he'll remember this, but, like, they didn't really have a son. Like, the kind of, like, sweeping under the rug of what feels like it should be a major character, like, development for these two characters makes me a little sad. But.
Okay. Also, though, remember when I told you about the lump?
Yep.
And how they were called the baby, the lump?
Sure.
I feel like that's still going to come back and be a part of it.
Not.
Why not?
I think it was an implication that this was that it was a hint that this was all fake. That the idea that he has a son was implanted in him, is somehow deceiving him, but there is no way they're going to reveal that the baby was a villain, or the baby is the lump. It's a metaphor. It was a metaphorical thing.
Okay. Well, yeah. Doug, let's talk about your panel of the week then that's part of this.
Cool. Yeah, so my favorite part of this, I was looking through, I was trying to find something that was just like a breathtaking image or something in this, or Damned or something, and I just couldn't fucking pass up. Like, there's just this page where they've handed Jacob to Darkseid, and specifically, so there's, they hand Jacob to Darkseid, and he's holding him out in front of him, and it's just this, like, panel of Darkseid holding this infant, and the infant reaches out and grabs Darkseid's nose and yells, "Nah, nah, nah." But the part that I love the most is, so then we get, following that, we get an explanation of Scott Free being like, he calls noses "na na na" or whatever, and they have an argument over whether or not that's a thing. Anyways, the end of the page is just 3 panels of Darkseid just sitting there. Just sitting there with this infant holding his nose, and he's just scowling at it. And the baby is just like, kind of like curious, and then happy in the second panel, and in the third panel just like yelling very excitedly, nah, nah, nah. And Darkseid is not reacting at fucking all. It's so good. And again, it's just like it's that same fucking thing that all this book is, that I say every time. It's just like this very mundane little not mundane, but like very human, low stakes thing of like this baby and that plot line of them being parents intersecting with this big cosmic shit in Darkseid, and Darkseid just like not even, he's just like, this is so beneath me. He does not care.
Well, it's his grandpa, you know? He's grandfather.
It's Grandpa Darkseid.
Grandpa Darkseid. Yeah. Who doesn't want a Grandpa Darkseid? Come on. But, yeah. And then, okay, this whole thing, so he, without his eye, he theoretically can't use the, what's it called, Omega Beam?
He can't use the Omega Beam, which Decide implies is central to enacting the anti-life equation.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
But who knows if that matters anymore? It doesn't.
Well, I mean, yeah, now it seems like it doesn't. But
I'm interested to see how they write the next issue, because, like, will it all be in the real world? Will there be no, like...
Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to get an issue in normal continuity at the end of this. That seems to be the implication to me. But I don't know. No idea.
Weird. But yeah, I'm excited because Metron shows up in Final Crisis, and then I looked up who that was after that, so I'm glad I did that before this.
Nice.
Oy. But,
Metron's cool.
Okay. Should I go for my panel of the week?
Sure. What was your panel of the week?
My panel of the week is the last page of Venom, which...
I'm so curious to hear you talk about why you picked this.
Because I just think at the point we are in this story... Okay, let's just talk about... So, Eddie Brock, and one problem I've had with this story is that in this issue, they talked about how Eddie Brock's biggest fear is being left alone. And I feel like that could have been built up a little bit more throughout the series to really have it be, I don't know, have it travel to this moment. But in any case, I love that. And I love this whole second to last page sequence where, you know, he has to, you know, keep this huge god thing in this fire to kill it. But while he's doing that, you know, he has to kill himself. And then it gets revealed that, you know, the symbiote was still connected to that god thing. So or connected to Rex Strickland. So he's dead too. And with the idea that he has a huge fear of being alone, and that he's lying here, like, it basically almost in a fetal position after the symbiote said, I love you, Eddie. And he says, I can't hear you. Where? It's just, you have this image of the symbiote seeping out of his body, dissipating into the ground with the flames coming off of him. I just think it's a really just great, like, setting down moments where it's just like, you feel terrible because, like, if he lives, he's going to be tortured and anxious and afraid of so much now that he doesn't have anyone to hold on to. And if this is truly the end, which I don't know what they're going to do because they have another issue coming out next month. But I guess it's the end of this arc. But the emotional place that he's in is very encapsulated by this image, I feel like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I'm a little confused about what the arc is supposed to be here. Because I feel like there's... I assume that this is going to be an idea that is, I mean, it has to be continued on in the story.
Yeah.
This idea that he is, like, dependent on the symbiote, that he, like, feels alone and tortured without it.
Yeah.
And my hope is that this is that like, it seems to me that the logical kind of direction to take that would be for him to like become okay with not, or like become more self-sufficient, you know?
Yeah.
Like to like be okay with being himself and not needing the symbiote. Whether or not that means he loses it in the end or not, I don't know. Because like they do seem to be implying that it is just torturing him at this point.
Yeah.
The need for it.
Well, because it has been kind of put throughout the whole thing. Like, you know, we started this with regular symbiote and everything, and then the symbiote was going crazy. He wasn't sure if he could trust the symbiote anymore. And then, you know, the learning about the symbiote's actual connection. It's like seeing the person, like seeing one of your best friends that you've known like very recently, seeing them with their other best friend. You know what I mean? They're a different person or something like that. It's almost telling that kind of story. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Sure,
and then, so I think this is an interesting place to leave him, like where, like the symbiote is like, no, I'm with you, but now I have to go. Just after that little honeymoon period of them being together and everything again, now he's just gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, so, like, I do find it interesting that they were making a big deal on this issue in his inner dialogue about, like, he basically says, like, I finally have a reason to live sometime near the issue of this.
Oh.
The end of this issue. At some point, I need to find it, but basically...
I think that was Rex Strickland.
Was it?
I feel like that's...
Did I misunderstand that?
I think that might have been it, because that makes more sense, at least. Remember what is it? I need to find it. God, now you have me looking. Okay. Where do you think he said that?
He says...
Oh, he says, I'm not ready to die.
Yeah, but that's the gray things, which is Eddie. The gray boxes.
Yes.
So he does say that. Yeah, he says, like, he says, I'm not ready to die. He says, like,
he says, I don't know what I have to live for.
He says, I'm not ready to give into the darkness. I'm not ready to die, not today. Which seems to be a character moment. I was a little confused. I was like, this seems to be implying that this has been a thing. Was he suicidal before? Am I forgetting something? Like, because it seemed to be like a character turn.
It does.
I wasn't entirely sure what was building towards that.
I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe he was more emotionally wrought by this whole experience than it was put out to be.
My feeling on it, in terms of what the purpose of this is, in conjunction with the end, is that he started to feel lost because he was losing the symbiote. And now that he is back in control of the symbiote and they're like more connected than ever, at this point, he's like, I finally have, like, I have the thing that makes me feel whole, and that is the symbiote. And then at the end, it gets torn from him. And then the implication for me is exactly what I was talking about, that, like, that is his like fatal mistake, was like putting his sense of self-worth in this other thing, and he has to learn to live without it. I like that. That's where I feel like it's going anyways. Again, yeah, this is me speculating based on this issue.
But I could take that. That makes sense. That's a good emotional journey for the character. It did feel a little like it was just in this issue. Like, in general, I felt like a lot of the emotional context was more put into this issue. But if it's to set up the next arc, I guess it kind of makes sense as a sort of lead-in. But
I think it makes sense in, like, they didn't, like, directly have him say that, but I could definitely see how that was portrayed through, like, the action and the story of this series, if that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, the flow of how the symbiote went crazy on him and then came back, and maybe they will have more exposition in the future explaining that connection and how, like, that journey, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll all be described by what happens next. I think, which is next month, so that's nice. But
it does seem like he has lost the symbiote. So yeah, I don't know. Is he just going to get it back next issue?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like, well, the cover image does have both the symbiote and him on it, but it's like
they're not together.
It's him, like his face is seemingly taking over the symbiote face. So I feel like it's showing him becoming.
Oh yeah, it's like a weird reverse.
Yeah, it's like him becoming more whole. You know what I mean? I feel
maybe, yeah.
But I could also read it as his face is disintegrating.
No, I think they're drawing him as if he is the goop here.
He's the symbiote for the...
He is the symbiote for the symbiote.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense, because part of his skin is, like, wrapped around the head of the symbiote. Yeah,
it's, like, liquidy and stretching around him.
So, and stuff. I think that's it. Yeah. So, I'm really excited.
Cool. Anyways, yeah, this series is great. I am more and more interested all the time to see where this is going to go.
Yeah. That's what you asked for. Cool. Okay, Doug. Black Hammer also shit happened. Let's just do quick words on these guys.
Okay. Yeah, just quick. Black Hammer, we got like the cliffhanger on what was actually happening in the last issue.
Yeah.
In that, like, they're not in this small town. They're in a spaceship. So we get the explanation of exactly why that is. They're in the Parazone.
Basically a Sentry idea.
I mean, like, it's a similar kind of thing.
Balance and such.
Yeah, this idea that they've kind of like been sequestered in this fake universe in order to prevent this evil from emerging. Yeah, that is a very similar idea to Sentry. Jeff Lemire, what are you doing here?
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Sentry comes out next week, by the way.
I'm sure it's just that must just be like an idea that he is fascinated with.
So I'm wondering also, like, what does this mean for what the universe is going to be like after this? Like, are they going to make a superhero team up now? Like, where? Yeah,
the part of I'm a little cautious about exactly like what this means. Yeah, for like what is this universe now? Is it just going to go back to like? Is it just going to be a superhero universe now?
I mean,
which, like,
I'm fine with that.
I don't know that I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I'm mad at that, but like, it's definitely not what this kind of series and universe was.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is kind of what the spin-offs have been.
Yeah.
Like, the spin-offs are just kind of books set in this like Spiral City kind of normal superhero universe. So
maybe this was just a weird first adventure that we saw all these like, it's a weird way to start a superhero group, but it's a way.
I'm imagining that these characters, or at least most of them, are not going to make it out of this series alive.
Oh gosh.
I'm guessing that this universe will live on in all the spin-offs. Or in future spin-offs.
Yeah.
And that these, I can't imagine, like, they're going back to this Earth. It's going to theoretically summon the anti-god back, is what the implication is here, I feel like. Or some evil like him. I think they do say specifically the anti-god will come back, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, they're gonna have to probably face him. It's so weird, because this book is just going in such a more normal feeling superhero direction, it feels like, at the end here. And it's still really good.
Yeah.
But it's so different.
But, like, where else were they going to go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, how do you wrap up a book like this?
Yeah. Especially when they want to do all these spin-offs and create this whole universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At least in this issue, like, even though they're all back in their normal old superhero bodies and everything, or at least, I guess, Abraham Slam is really the only one. But like, even though we're kind of setting back to that, like, we're still getting so much good emotional kind of fallout that is continuing the work done when they were in Rockford.
I don't know.
They said the name in this issue, and I keep going like, they say this like once every 4 issues or something.
Black Hammer Farm.
Rockwood.
Rockwood.
I found it. It's Rockwood. Was the town. Anyways. Yeah, so we got kind of, the full explanation of what was happening, and, I don't know that I can complain about, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
So.
We'll just have to see. Are you going to read Cthulhuese?
Oh, God, I keep forgetting that. I am committed to any of these Black Hammer spin-offs.
Yeah. Sam and I are going to get Sherlock Frankenstein and the Legion of Evil so we can read it before that comes out.
You should definitely read it.
I'm pumped.
Also Cthulhuese is specifically like kind of a spin-off of that.
Well, yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm committed to reading all of these until one of them turns out to be bad.
Yeah. Until then.
Yeah.
Can we talk about...
But they haven't been bad yet. I have enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can we talk a little bit do a little blurb on Ice Cream Man? I just want to talk about how nice it is to have a happy ending.
Yeah, I was shocked.
How great is that, though? Because you're like... I remember I was reading it, I was like, wait, is there something depressing here that I'm not getting? And then it's like, no, because the guy came in and saved the day, and so it's a happy ending.
Yeah, this Ice Cream Man was going to try to murder this little girl, and this weird hunter cowboy guy came in and stopped him. In this weird way that, like, made it seem very petty.
A little
like
bit.
He was, like, where he came in, he's like, I thought I told you to knock it off. And the Ice Cream Man's just like, fuck you, Caleb. And then he just, like, lets the guy go, and then they just kind of, like, argue for a minute. They don't, like, have, like, a big fight.
Well, they zoomed out of it. Well, I guess he's leaving here, yeah.
And then he just, like, they have this tense moment, I guess, where he's like, we're gonna fight someday, I guess, is the implication. But, like, they don't, like, have a big fight or anything to save her. He just comes in and is like, you're gonna let her go. And he does.
There's gotta be... So. I mean, I think this is just toying with the tension. Like, he shows up and has this big moment, but, like, at some point we have to get more explanation on what their relationship is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's all these weirdly phrased lines in here that just imply this backstory.
The rules done changed.
Yeah.
Before this, I'm going to stick you right in the neck, and I thought...
Well, it's just like, like, the rules done changed is specifically, like, he says, this is my time. Yeah. You'll get yours when I'm good and done.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Yeah, it's just...
Yeah. It's like, like there's some weird backstory, and we're going to get it over the next, like, 12 issues or something in little bits. But, this series is so fucking weird.
But it's so good. It's so like, strange. This issue really, like, made it, like, it feels so satisfying. Like, I've loved every single issue because I just think they're really great stories and interesting things, and they're depressing, yes, but they're really, like, nice. They're good stories. They're well put together stories. And having this one be here, and it's just a nice, like, happy ending. It just feels so satisfying after everything. And about 7 issues in, like, they should have ended the trade here. You know what I mean? This would be a great place to end a trade, you know?
Yeah, it feels like the what is it called? The Star Trek episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you're just bracing for the horrible ending because it's fucking Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay.
Great.
And it's so nice. And I love that episode.
Oh, it's so great. So, yeah, this is my favorite issue of Ice Cream Man, and it's just so great, I think.
I love how they, like, super turn you against the dad. Like, he's such a dick. And then, like, they make this turn in his character that makes you just, like, feel for him even more.
Yeah.
Because he realizes how much of a dick he's been being.
Well, also, the reason he's being a dick is because he cares about the well-being of his daughter, and the reason she was so concerned with her friend's death and she wasn't accepting it was not because she was sad about it and couldn't deal with it. It was because of the Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, was that actually?
She's eating ice cream at the beginning of the...
She is.
That's it.
I guess.
That's the reason she's so into it. Like, and he's, like, super concerned with it. Like, dude, this is fucking weird. We should not be... And he's right.
He is right, but also he's being a dick about it.
He's being a dick about it, but he's right. He's like, was it Walter? He's John Goodman in Big Lebowski.
I'm sorry. he's right, but he's being a bad father. Like, I'm not gonna like side with him on that. But
okay, he's going in the wrong direction, but he does have her quality of life in mind.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes him a good person.
You're right.
Anyways,
you're right.
But he makes a turn at a certain point where he realizes like how wrong he's been, and like he turns around on it. Anyways, I really like how that was done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this book continues to be great. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's good.
Amen. Also, I think I'm dropping Pearl.
No, you didn't like this issue?
I didn't like this issue. I just don't really, like, I love the art. Also, there's something weird about the writing where I feel like things are written out of place.
Oh, you were probably confused by the layouts in this book.
There are some layouts that are weird, but it's also different lines within panels.
Well, okay. There are pages in which you are with no warning and really no indication of like that you're supposed to do it until you realize your mistake. You're supposed to read all the way from the top left panel of the left page to the top right panel of the right page.
Yes.
And they don't, and some pages it's not like that. And some pages it is. And some pages I can catch it because they'll put like an indicator, they'll put some panels in the middle or the bottom or wherever.
Yeah.
That's spread across both. And so you'll go like, oh, I need to read this way. Although they really should do that on the first page, the first line of panels.
Yeah.
But some pages, it does that. And you're supposed to read all the way left to right. And they give you no indication that you are. And so I read a few pages wrong.
Yeah.
In a way that was frustrating.
It's that, but it also is like, I just don't know if this issue tied me into the story all that much. Like, I liked the last issue as the beginning, and this one, it just felt kind of like, okay, I don't give a shit. I don't know.
This is one of those series that is going to intermittently dip into the backstory of characters, and as a comic book series that you're reading once a month, sometimes those issues can be frustrating. But what I've found is that when you read a series like that, those issues are frustrating at the time, and then afterwards you look back on them and you appreciate the context that they give you for the character. I don't know that is going to be the long-term structure of this book.
Yeah.
But if that's what this is, if we're going to get back into like a full issue on just like the current timeline and her doing jobs for these people, and then maybe going back to some more backstory later, or in the next issue, I think I don't have a problem with this. But I also think it was well written for what it was. I liked it. I'm going to continue reading it.
You do you. Okay. Also, what'd you think about the Bat Who Laughs?
Fuck him.
Fuck the Bat Who Laughs. Here's the thing though. I enjoy that they don't write him specifically like the Joker. He does have little things where it's like, that's a smart Bruce Wayne thing that he would do. You know what I mean?
They have him remember things from like his Bruce Wayne life, I guess. But honestly, to my ear, whatever. Like when I read it, it reads exactly like how he wrote like the very intellectual version of the Joker in like Death of the Family and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what his purpose is structurally. I just don't need a darker Joker.
Here's one thing,
don't need it.
But here's another thing that I really like about it. I do like the tried dynamic between the other villains and the Bat Who Laughs, because I don't think they really enjoy him, especially Joker doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I feel, I don't know, like structurally, I feel like it's fine in terms of like what the character is being used as in the story.
Yeah.
It's fine. I just really don't like the character. It's just like, I don't know. Like maybe I should get over it, but also I don't know. I don't like him.
I know.
And,
I know.
And also I just don't like how it's like implying that like once the Batman Who Laughs or the Bat Who Laughs?
It's the Batman Who Laughs, but I refuse to call it that because it's better as the Bat Who Laughs.
Anyways, the Batman Who Laughs, once he escapes, that he is going to have his own goals and motivations and become a much bigger part of the story, and like that to me makes it feel like this is just a continuation of Metal.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Like that we're just that the beginning of this series is just a like kind of a pit stop on our way to going back to the big story plot arc of Metal, and I don't want that.
Yeah, maybe we'll just have to see.
Otherwise, I thought this issue was fun. I like these Legion of Doom diversions.
Yeah. Also, Batman is long-term down for the count, apparently.
In this book.
He's in RoboChair.
He's in a RoboChair, yep. He is not in a RoboChair in any other book.
No.
And I'm going to guess he will not be.
No.
But
he's in a RoboChair. Whatever.
Which is whatever. I think it's cool. He's in like a weird Metron chair. I don't know if it's hovering or wheeling around or what it's doing, but
I don't know. I got reminded of Days of Future Past Xavier.
Sure.
Anyways. Okay.
Cool.
What do we got next week? We already went through some of them. We got Doomsday Clock, Heroes in Crisis. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm so fucking pumped. So pumped for Heroes in Crisis.
It's gonna be so good. Okay.
All right. So, that's gonna probably do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. The absolute biggest thing you can do for us as a podcast, if you like the show, is give us a review or a star rating on iTunes. It's the biggest podcast app, and it really helps to surface our show to new listeners if you do that. If you do enjoy the show, let someone know about us. You can do that like on social media, make a post about how you like the show, or you can just tell someone, just like write a very strongly worded note. And send it to your senator.
That's good.
Tell him about it, and then he'll maybe listen, or he'll vote on legislation in favor of us.
That's good. I like that.
We release episodes weekly on Sundays, so be sure to check back in next week. You can subscribe to the show also on your podcast app and never even have to think about it.
Yes, sirree. You can do it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and now Spotify. Cool. I'm going to listen to us on Spotify sometime. That's fun. But also, Doug, I've been trying to think of a word that we should call anybody who listens. Like, you know how people call their fan bases different things, like true believers, or like there's the WWE Universe in wrestling. We should call our listeners potatoes. Doug?
What?
We should call them potatoes.
Why would we call them potatoes?
Because they're all our potatoes out there. And then, because it works really well with our sister podcast, The Mashing Buttons, because then people who are there, they can be like, oh no, I'm not a potato.
That makes more sense.
I'm a mashed potato.
They could call their listeners mashed potatoes or something. It's still stupid.
And they're the mashers.
But why would we call them potatoes?
Because we're the, sister podcast, so we're potatoes.
I think they're the covered kids.
Potatoes just makes more sense.
You know what? I'm wrong. You're right.
Thanks. So whichever podcast app you prefer potatoes, we got you potatoed. Covered. Sorry. In the meantime, before the next episode, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook under the handle @ComicsCovered. You can also find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com, LIBSYN. And on our YouTube channel. We have video versions on Facebook as well. So check it out. And if you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. Please do it, because we like talking to you guys. At our email, comicscovered@gmail.com also. Thanks again for listening. I am in a Mobius chair right now.
Oh, you're Metron.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm still Doug.
Oh, well, yes, I guess so. And this has been Comics Covered.